Hey, it's Peter with the Garden Family, and I am going to harvest some vegetables and show you around our late spring, early summer garden. Let's start with the cabbages. 4 of the 5 of these cabbages need to be harvested. These are Copenhagen market cabbages. So when I harvest these, I tend to just leave the roots in the ground and let them feed the soil. And I'll succession plant probably some more bush beans to replace these. Let's pick the green cauliflower. Come on this way. Wow, look at that. That looks amazing. These plants were very vigorous. Ooh, I can barely get through the stem, that's so thick. Just give you a sense of how big that plant is. Never actually eaten this type before. If you have, let us know in the comments what you think of it. Looks great. Barely cut that thing. All of these leaves on cauliflower and broccoli are edible as well. So you can either saute them. If you want to eat them, we will see if the chickens will like them. We're going to get some peas now. So these are snap peas, so you eat the entirety of it, including the shell. You don't need to shell them. They're great in stir fry or just to eat fresh. I'm so excited to have peas because the last couple years robins have eaten my peas and I just did not get a big enough plant to have a good harvest before it got hot. I'll have to come back and get the rest of these later, but let's go take a look at another bed over here, our lettuces. So these lettuces are the Salanova green butterleaf, and one thing you can see above us, we have a 50% shade cloth. We just ate this tonight and last night as well, and to be honest, it still tasted great. It wasn't bitter, even though it's been quite hot. So this shade cloth is new for us this year, and it's really helped prolong the lifespan of the lettuce. We'll get a couple heads here. Some of the leaves on the very bottom you can see are past their prime, so I'm basically just taking these from higher up. Let's get a few purple onions and some carrots. So purple onions are just coming in. Some of these are multi-sown, so you can see there's a few purple onions in the same spot. So since these still have a little bit of growth to do, but we do want a couple purple onions, I'm going to take from these multi-sown spots, leaving this one more room to keep growing. Looks nice. Now let's check these carrots out. We harvested one already and it was relatively good size. Let's actually get this one on the corner and see what it looks like. So that looks pretty wide here, but anyone who's grown carrots knows it's not always what you see on the top. So we'll see if there's an actual carrot under there. Not this one, look at that guy.
Oh.
Big on the top, not much carrot left. Let's try a different one. Ooh, look at that. Have a ladybug larva on there. I'm gonna go with this one right here. Maybe this one will be a real carrot. Yeah, not bad. Not bad. Let's try this one. Yeah, pretty good too. I think that's all the carrots we'll need for now. We'll grab a few beets while we're in the same bed. These beets are also multi-sown, so a few beets in the same planting area. So I'll find the bigger ones, and that will give space to the smaller ones to get bigger. So for example, over here, we can see there's multiple beets in the same spot. This is sort of the smaller one, so if I can, I'm gonna get these bigger beets out. There we go. Hopefully without disturbing that one, and then that one can keep growing. We really like the beet greens too. They're very good, so we'll keep these on and saute up the greens and roast the beets. All right, so cool weather plants are looking great. We have a few warm weather plants that are finally coming in. Let's start with the summer squash. So at the last video you saw, we had netting over the summer squash. That was to protect it from squash vine borer. If you're on the east of the Mississippi, you know that pest. It's no fun. It's a daytime moth, so it shares time with bees. So as soon as we see both male and female flowers on these, netting comes off. It does mean the squash vine borer can get to it, but it usually takes a while before those larvae get big enough to cause too many issues. So now we're finally getting zucchini and other summer squash. Let's see what we have in here. Those look great. Really, this is probably the more ideal size to get them at. If we look at this zucchini, common question that people have is, why is my zucchini kind of yellowing and shriveling up at the tip? And that's because of inadequate pollination. So this one, there's no point in leaving it on here. It's never going to grow into a good zucchini. And then our last is our crookneck squash. That. Very pretty. Here's another one that didn't fully pollinate. So that one's probably a no-go. This is probably ideal size for these squash. Something like that. So we have both peppers and eggplant ready to harvest in the garden earlier than normal. Normally it's still a couple weeks for those. And I think it's because we used a high-powered LED light in the grow room, allowed them to really grow much more vigorously prior to planting out. So let me show you. So these are Turkish eggplant. I have found these to come earlier and be a little bit more vigorous of a plant than the Black Beauty eggplant you can see over here. These are not quite ready to harvest. But looks like I have a few more Turkish eggplant to get. Oh, those look great. So poblano peppers, these are our favorite type of pepper to grow. We have 10 of them here, along with some sweet peppers and some jalapenos on the other side. And we've already harvested a decent number of these, but if you can see, we have still a few here. So we'll grab a few today and leave the rest on the plants to continue to mature. Let's go get the rest of the harvest together and I'll show you what we picked today. Gotta catch my breath, just walked over here with this bowl. But this is the harvest. We got a lot of great food, a lot of wonderful things to come as the summer garden picks up. So make sure to subscribe. We'll do another walk through in July. Hope to see you then. Happy gardening, everyone.